Hey, welcome once again to our Geek This Week, the show where I unbox comics because I have far too many. And since, about 2020, I've got many boxes and boxes of comics that I need to open and read. And I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, I've opened up a bunch of them and read them, but not all of them. And as we're in the process of cleaning out the spare bedroom where I record these episodes, we're going to turn it into my office. We're going to paint these walls, make it a place to work while I'm home. One of the things we need to do is open up all these boxes and get these comics cleared out. So why not make a show out of it? So that's what I've done here. So again, that's the premise. I open up boxes. Once we get to about 5 comics or so, we stop and we do another episode. So without any further ado, let's start it out. Got my trusty knife here. Got a box here just off screen. I apologize, I got quite the tower here to my right, so if you hear a big thundering clap, it's because I've knocked over a bunch of comics. Let's see what's in this box here. Let's not stab myself on camera. Alright, open this big bad boy up. And this is... Actually, I'm pretty excited, even though I know I bought this a while ago. This is the Batman Omnibus. Sorry, I'm looking at my screen at the same time. This is the Batman Omnibus by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. This is actually the second omnibus. You probably can't see it. It says it way on the side there. Omnibus 2. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway. Second omnibus. That means somewhere in this pile, I have the first omnibus. So that's something to look forward to, knowing that I have the first omnibus here somewhere. Heard nothing but awesome things about this run. That is great. Obviously, I've not read it. I dropped out of reading individual comics years ago, and even though I've spent hundreds of dollars, I'm sure I spent. Actually, here's my thing. When it comes to an omnibus, I get it. Comics for the most part try to make up most of their money on the first release. So that's why comic books are $3, $4, $5, $6 an issue now. But once something's popular enough, they reprint it. First they do trades, right? Then they might do hardcover editions. But at some point when they have enough issues, they do an omnibus. So I now have 2 of these Batman omnibi. At least. I think I also have the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale Batman omnibus. The point is, the amount of money they put into it, they paid the writer, the artist, the inker, the letterer, all those people. They paid them for the issue that came out. So if it's something really popular, when they reissue it, it's more money for them. So lots of times you can get an omnibus for something like this. I think the retail is, let's see if it tells me here. I don't see it offhand. Retail is $125. So I kind of do this thing. I watch different omnibus or omnibuy that I want to purchase. And if it gets to about 40 to 50% off its list price, and it's something that I was planning on buying at some point anyway, I pull the trigger. So what did I pay for this? I probably paid somewhere between $50 and $70 for it, which is not bad considering all the comics involved. Had I actually bought, it says this here reprints Batman 34 through 52 plus the 3 annuals or 2 annuals, and then Batman Last Night on Earth, those are 3 issues, and then a couple other issues. So all told here, we're looking at about 25 comics. If those were each $4 each, that's $100 right there. Okay, let's say it's $3 each. Okay, that's $75. So I'm still paying a little bit less, but I get the whole package, every issue that I want, in a much larger form. And it's hardcover. It looks better on a shelf. Again, I get it. You have to have floppies in order to actually, keep comics alive. And I appreciate all those people that buy digital comics, single issues or just the single issue comics themselves. I just don't have the time for it anymore. And when I do take the time to sit down, I want to read a whole run. So that's why I like trades, or in this case, an omnibus. So this is the first one, Batman by Scott Schneider and Greg Capullo, second omnibus. And it's so huge, I don't even know where I'm going to put it. I'll just put it off to the side there. All right, that was the first one. Again, get my knife out and try not to cut myself. Open another big box here. Should I show you the box? That way you know I'm not just making cutting sounds over here. Alright, put the knife away so once again I don't stab myself on camera. Alright, this one has 2 in it. So let's see what we got here. 3. Holy shit. So this might be a quick episode. Alright, first and foremost. This has Hellions, Volume 3. I may have mentioned on a previous episode when they started the Krakoan Age in X-Men with the whole reboot of Age of X and Powers of 10. I got back into the X-Men. I have that collection. I love it. I started reading the trades, but then I got woefully behind. I'm slowly picking these up and trying to get caught up. So this is Hellions Volume 3. This is by, it's going to tell me who, Wells, Antonio, Segovia, and Barreto. I realize they did the Rise of X, Dawn of X, and all those. Basically, in hindsight, I should have collected the series that way instead. But I've already kind of gone too far down the path towards buying, X-Men, X-Force, Hellions, and collecting all those trades. So I'm going to keep going down that path and hoping to have a complete collection of the entire Krakoan Age when everything is done. So this is Hellions Volume 3. Next, this massive book. This is The Flash, Wally West Returns, and the creating team on it is Kevin Schenck, Jeremy Adams, Clayton Henry, Will Conrad, and Brandon Peterson. I had heard fantastic things about Jeremy Adams' run, and I believe it starts somewhere in the middle of this collection. I'm going to admit, I was always a Marvel fan, not necessarily a DC fan, but I do like The Flash, especially the Wally West. My friend Mike Ring was really into DC comics in the 80s, where I was always a Marvel kid. But he got me into The Flash, especially the Wally West Flash, that era. So I have a special place in my heart for Wally West. So I heard that this creative team did a fantastic job with bringing Wally West back as the Flash. So that was enough to get my interest, and I saw that their run was 3 or 4 trades in total. So I grabbed this. I don't remember if this is the first one of that or not. I apologize. It's volume 16 in The Flash. But I plan on sitting down and reading the run at some point. I know I have others. I think I opened one a few weeks ago. That's, I think, volume 17. That one I actually opened just because I was excited to see what it was. So, behind on this series as well, but I plan on getting through it here soon. We'll see if that happens. Once I go through and actually go over these series, I think I'll sit down and do another video kind of talking about why I liked them, or why I didn't like them, or what I thought was wrong, or anyhow, just giving my opinion in my review. So anyway, volume 16 of The Flash. Looking forward to reading it. What else do we have in here? Okay, got to admit, I actually didn't even realize I own this. That's how bad. I mean, I'll put it over this way so there's less glare, but it kind of blocks the mic a little bit. So, Batman, One Dark Night. This is written and drawn by Jock. I don't know if you're familiar with Jock as a writer or an artist. I think I first became aware of his work during The Losers. I bought that series years ago. Funny enough, they actually made it a comic book movie. Chris Evans is in it, amongst others. Really liked his work from that. I've followed him around and read many series he's worked on. I think, I'm not sure this is his first Batman run or not. I think he's done Batman before. The point is, this is his story that he wrote and drew. It's from the DC Black Label line, which means it doesn't necessarily happen within continuity. Kind of like what DC used to do with their Elseworlds tale. They'd tell different versions or, alternate reality versions of their heroes. Black Label is just kind of like to let creators kind of cut loose and do whatever they want. It's not necessarily in canon or in continuity. Obviously, things that are really interesting that, fans glom onto and want to be part of the character can sometimes move over, but excited to read this one. It's a hardcover. I love a nice hardcover, and I admit that I like how they look on my bookshelf. So much so that I probably need to get more bookshelves. But this is Batman One Dark Knight, written and drawn by Jock. That is number 4 this episode. All right, all that to say, I've got one more big box right here. I'm hoping there's only one thing in it because we're already at 4. And again, there it is. Try not to cut myself. Always cut away. Okay. Open this up. Let's see here. There we go. A couple other things, but the most important thing in here is Superman. Whoops. So much glare. Superman, son of Kal-El. So this is all about Superman's son taking on the mantle. Truth, justice, and a better world. Sorry. Doesn't help if I block the mic. This is all about Jonathan Kent. Obviously, Superman named his son after his dad. Again, I heard good things about this book. It went on sale. It's hardcover. I figured I'd check it out. I'm not the hugest. I'm not the biggest fan of Superman. I think done right, you can do some really compelling stories with Superman. Like years ago, I think was it Adventures of Superman 700 or maybe Action Comics 750 or so. Anyhow, I think it was written by Joe Kelly, and it was the introduction of the Elite, who was kind of like DC's answer to the Authority at that point, part of the extreme widescreen thing going on. It was really popular in comics about 15, 20 years ago. And basically it kind of gave the question like, where does Superman stand in today's world if we have, extreme heroes like the Authority? Again, kind of done through the lens of DC's take on them, known as the Elite. But done right, a Superman story can prove that there's still a lot to be said about the character and about comics and about our world. So my understanding is that this version of Superman, Jonathan Kent's version of Superman, if he's not gay, he's at least bisexual. Again, that doesn't bother me. I don't think that it really affects the caliber of story as far as Superman goes. So some people I think got up in arms about that, but for me, it's just another dimension of the character. It's not the whole character. Not that I'm saying that sexuality isn't important to who one is, but again, it doesn't make me go, oh my God, it doesn't clutch my pearls, and you're ruining a classic character. Sexuality is a spectrum. It's an aspect of Jonathan Kent. It's not all Jonathan Kent is, and I'd like to see him in his role as Superman. So I bought it, and it sounds interesting. And I think that's number 5. So all that to say, we've hit our limit this week, and I'm still got many, many boxes. So more episodes are coming. So if you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with another 10 to 15 minute episode before you know it. So thanks for joining our Geek this week. Hopefully you come back again. Thanks a lot.